the Patreon subscribers, we'll start the dollar yen because it is pumping, and it is of note whether or not we're going to see a reversal or not. But we have to remember, if you are trading the dollar yen, which is possible, you have to remember to check your US yields, and it does track the 10-year. So if we're green on the 10-year, then it's going to give dollar yen some give it some tailwind, and it will boost the dollar yen, fundamentally speaking. Okay, sentimentally, you can see it's fairly strong. There's your MR1, so we've got that as support, and we've got new levels to be working with as well tomorrow. SLC above, slightly smaller where it was yesterday. It's taken out a little bit of liquidity. You can see those blue lines. It has taken out some stops, but the one above now is 137.05. One below is 135.88. There's your weekly open. So we have to target SLC above. That's what we have to do. And then we target the one below if we're below the weekly open. Longer term look, we look at the ATR long, but I don't know if we're going to get up there. We might. There's not many stops up above. So, if you're looking from a stop hunt perspective, there's a lot more below, especially down here. It might want to come down and get those, which would be horrible, wouldn't it? But, ATR target long is at MR2, so you've got double confluence. So, potentially SLC and then there. But I don't know if there's really any justification for that move, but we'll have to wait and see. So that's dollar yen. Possibly going to continue to pump as long as those yields are going to remain strong. Big old wicks. Right, so let's see what the profitable traders are doing. It's interchange and chop. So it looks like it might be a case of wanting to get the SLC 1800, bang on the round number. A lot of the retail traders won't know about liquidity, and they'll look probably to short gold at the 1800 breach. We are still at the big picture, and they've gone long slightly on the ratios as well. Well, they went long, now they're selling it, so it's zigzagging currently. So it's quite choppy. I think what might happen is that we'll come down and get the SLC, and then it's going to really get the guys involved in order to short it, and then it's going to, we'll pump, and we've got the 200 MA on the daily, just above the SLC. So we'll have the technical support. And so I think Blackbird in the Discord, it could be right. It could just be wanting stop loss cluster first, and then we're going to get the one above. It might just be a liquidity probe. So weekly open is 1812. Because we're below, we should really be targeting the SLC, and once we're above, target SLC. So that's your line in the sand level. This is where we opened on the week. So we're currently slightly bearish because we're below the weekly open. Okay, so probably down and then up, and then it could just do that, and then then inevitably we'll have a breakout. There's not much data today in order to drive this, so it could be just sideways for a bit. We made a sell candle here, so maybe we can remove that one. We can have a look at that sell candle, can't we? Insert shape rectangle. We're looking at this one. So this is currently resistance. From a better volumes perspective, that did map, right? Yeah, it did. So currently a little bit of resistance overhead at 1813, 1820. So yeah, tricky. So down probably, then up, then to chop, I think. But keep an eye on your weekly open, 1812. Let's look at pound, because the pound's really pumping. And we said it might because I released some macro in the pound channel. So hopefully you got to read that. We are chopping quite a bit, but there's the recent move. SLC above 121, so dead on the round number, and there's your ATR target long as well. So you've got a double confluence, so liquidity and technical resistance. So be careful with that. We might continue high, but technically and sentimentally, that might just be job done. From a big fish perspective. The one below is at 1.2, dead on. So if you were long, could be a nice place to TP 121. But it might continue high, but we have ATR target long, the technical resistance. So we are very much ranging though. We're caught within that low and that high. I think we could draw a fib on that high. Actually, that might be interesting. We definitely got some fib supports. Is this way, I think. Oh no, I can't do fibs because I've got the risk to reward thing. That's fine. But we can see how we've got some fib support anyway. That's kind of annoying. The MetaTrader 4 has definitely got limitations. We can't have alternate fibs. It can be one or the other. So currently I've got the risk reward fib on, which is fine, but it's, you're restricted to that format. So, you can use it like, say for example, you wanted to sell it here, and then, your stop could be there. It's a very wide stop, but then you target the SLC, right? So, yeah, it's a 1-to-1 R. Very unlikely it's going to get to monthly pivot, and it's possible it could want to get that stop loss cluster below. Very, very interesting in that. So, yeah, that's how you can use it anyway. But we have got some Fibonacci support. We've definitely got the 23.6 anyway, so from that high to that low. So that's how you could potentially use it. It's just very interesting that your stop loss is where the SLC is. So that could be your target intraday, and it could be your target longer term with a wide stop of a 1-to-1 R, which isn't a fantastic trade, but it's important just to have your stop loss in place. So that's how you can use it. That's quite interesting. Not a recommendation to short, by the way, because the macro is good for the pound, and Goldman Sachs are not recommending shorting the pound, and I trust them on that because we've got a lot of good data from the UK recently, and we've got resolution on the Northern Ireland border, so that's positive as well. So EU is probably going to be pumping too, probably not as much as pound. Yeah, I mean, it looks like we might be breaking some channel here. Can you see? Definitely breaking a channel. Up we come. One above is at 106.30. One below is at 105.69. Weekly opens here, so quite strong. Daily open 106.09. So we have to target the SLC because we've got the daily open and the weekly open. So I think that's possibly likely. 106.30. We're close, aren't we? AU. And I was saying we're going to target the stops above, but they're very far away and well above the weekly ATR. So I was saying on Friday we're going to come up and take these, but it's a bit too far right now. We need to probably next week. It could be even next week, where it's just going to allow these to get a lot larger, and then make it look like it's safe, and then it's going to come up steadily and slowly, and it's going to absorb those stops. That's what I think is going to happen. One below is at 66.95. The one above, I think, would be next week's target at 69.25. Weekly open, target HR long or SLC. SLC is a near term. HR target long is your medium term. It could take a week or two to get to your target, but near term, intraday basis, target the SLC. But I think weekly open is going to be taken, and then it will be quite bullish. So wait for that to breach, I think. And yeah, we'll skip dollar CAD because it's just choppy. And then, so how are we looking? We've sold it. You can see the move. Look at the relationship of the sentiment and the price action. Up we down. They sold it. They sold it. They sold it. Up we come. Up we come. And then we had like a rounding thing, which of course indicated the top, and now it's a sideways. Right, so highly accurate and very amazing. One above is at 94.30. One below is miles and miles and miles away, 91.35. There's your target for a short, technically speaking. There's your sentimental target. So it's a little bit like the Australian dollar USD, where the sentimental target is well beyond the technical target. So we won't come down here this week. It just would be impossible. But there's your likely target on a weekly basis. That's just like well out. It's too far away. Very sneaky. So that could be achievable. It all depends on the sentiment. We are still a sell with 54%. So if they buy this dip, then we might fall. and you can see the logic for that stop loss cluster right there, which I'm pretty sure they'll move as we get closer to price. And that's that. So that's today's Patreon video. I still need to do house hunting, and time is ticking now because I've got to move. I found a buyer for the house, but I haven't found a house to live in, and the people are going to be moving in late April. So I've still got a couple of months, but I need to find somewhere to live fairly urgently. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. I wish you a great day. Be careful with things, and our trade of the day has gone well. So from a spreadsheet perspective, I'm quite happy. Just remember to trade safely, and then you should be fine. Okay. And I have no idea what this is, so I'll close the video now. I'll speak to you guys soon.